If people walk all over you and you're sick of being treated as a doormat, then you need to learn how to stand your ground in some way or another. Now, you could get aggressive with them, but that's probably not the best idea, especially if you have to see them again. This means you're left with assertiveness, and that is a completely different kettle of fish. In this video, we're going to look at a technique called the scratched record, which can be used in two situations. The first one is when someone is trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. And the other is when you're asking something completely reasonable and they don't want to do it. Let's dive in. Well, starting with the basics, the scratch record technique is simply clearly stating what it is that you want, and when they refuse, you simply repeat the sentence. You repeat exactly the same sentence with no modification, and you do it again and again and again and again until they get tired of saying no. So I'll describe to you an example situation. Imagine you're at the office, it's 1 minute before you're going to go home, and someone comes over to you and they say something like, "Hey Brendan, I need you to send me every single report that you made last year before you go home." And I don't want to do it, so I say, "That's at least a 2-hour job. I'll do it first thing in the morning, but right now I'm going home." Well, they don't want to hear that, so they start giving you some kind of emotional blackmail. And this is where you use the scratch record technique. I say, "I understand, but that's at least a 2-hour job. I'll do it first thing in the morning. Now I'm going home." So exactly the same sentence. In a way, this is a kind of a war of attrition. They don't want to give territory, you don't want to give territory, but you keep on going until one of you gets tired. With the scratched record, you don't use up any kind of psychological energy because all you're doing is repeating the same sentence. They're going to get tired before you do. Another thing they do is to try and pile on the emotional pressure, and they try to make their problems your problems. So they say something like, "Oh, but if I don't get that done, the world's going to explode." And you say, "I understand how you feel, but," and then the scratched record once again. Well, what about the opposite situation? This time you are asking for something perfectly reasonable and the other person is resisting. For example, you go to a shop and you buy some nice headphones, get them home, plug them in. They don't work, so of course you take them back to the store with the receipt. You go to the clerk and you say, "I took these home, plugged them in, they didn't work, I want my money back or a replacement." The clerk then resists and says something like, "We can't do that, but we can send it off to get it repaired." You're now going to use a technique called a declaration. You then say exactly the way you feel. "I don't want them repaired," and then you go to your scratch record. "They don't work, I want to have my money back or a replacement." Now the situation might be getting hotter and hotter. They could be digging in their heels and flatly refusing you. This is when we use the shrinking technique, in which your scratched record makes the sentence shorter and shorter and shorter. The longer sentence creates distance and sounds more polite, and the shorter sentences sound more abrupt and therefore pressure the other person more. So in this situation it could be, "I want to have my money back or a replacement," and he says something like, "But Mr. Dixon handles that and he's not until next Friday. Can you come back next Friday?" Then you use your declaration, "I don't want to come back. I want my money back or a replacement." He gives you another excuse, "I want my money back or a replacement." He gives you another excuse, "Money back or replacement." Money back or replacement. Now it's warfare. The key to doing this really well is to practice doing it with a very calm voice and a calm posture. This way, he can't change the subject to the way you're speaking to him. You don't have to talk to me like that. No, you avoid that completely by using a totally calm tone of voice. It is, in a way, even more intimidating when you do that. Assertiveness is a valuable skill that can help your life tremendously. This and other skills can be learned by checking us out at www.cognifit.com/employee-well-being. This is Brendan Clark for CogniFit with the Scratch Record. With the Scratch Record, with the scratch record, and I'll see you in the next video.